Hello and welcome to HP Gaming Garage. I am Professor Raja Ravichandra Prasad, Game Director at Artemisia College of Art and Design. The sixth module of game programming is Understanding the Basic of Programming Part 2. This module is a continuation of Module 5. So I will highly recommend that if you have not seen the previous module, please watch that before proceeding with this one. The focus of this module will be on functions and methods that help game developers to keep the code organized, reusable and efficient. To explain this in detail, I have Shriyams, an ace game developer who will walk you through the module.
Thank you, Professor. Hello everyone, I am Shriyams and we will be discussing the module Understanding the Basic of Programming Part 2, curated by Professor Raja. Let's begin by discussing flow controls. By utilizing flow control, you have the power to determine the order in which statements and instructions are executed based on game events, player input, and other conditions. Some common flow control constructs that are used in game programming include conditional statements determine whether a specific condition is true or false and execute a corresponding block of code. This level of control is crucial for creating highly tailored, efficient programs that deliver the optimal user experience. Some of the common conditional statements are: if statement, execute a block of code if a condition is true. If else statement, executes one block of code if a condition is true and another block if it is false. It is the ultimate tool for testing expressions against multiple cases and then executing the matching block of code. By using it, you can significantly reduce the complexity of your programming logic and create more efficient and effective systems. By using loops, game developers can efficiently repeat a block of code based on specific conditions. This is incredibly useful for critical game programming tasks such as updating game objects, handling animation, and processing game events. Some of the common loops which are used in game programming are: for loop, repeats a block of code for a specified number of times. Do while loop, similar to a while loop, but the condition is checked after the loop body is executed, ensuring the loop runs at least once. Jump statements give the ability to easily alter the flow of your code and transfer control to different parts of your program. Say goodbye to rigid and inflexible code and hello to fully customizable and dynamic programming. Common jump statements used in game programming are: break. It terminates the execution of the innermost loop or switch statement. By incorporating continue in the loop, one will be able to skip unnecessary statements and move on to the next iteration, making the code more efficient and effective. With just a simple command of return, one can easily exit the current function and return the desired value to the calling function. Now let's recap what we have learned. Flow control in game programming is important to determine the order in which instructions are executed based on certain conditions. Conditional statements allow developer to execute different blocks of code based on whether a certain condition is true or false. A switch statement allows developers to test the value of an expression against multiple cases and execute the corresponding block of code. Loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times based on a certain conditions. Loops are useful in game programming for tasks like updating game objects, handling animation, and processing game events. Jump statements allow developers to alter the normal flow of code execution by transferring control to a different part of the code. Continue skips the remaining statements in the current iteration of a loop and move to the next iteration. Return exits the current function and returns a value to the calling function. Functions are standalone blocks of code that are designed to perform specific tasks, making it easier for the game developer to encapsulate common operations that are used throughout the game. By implementing functions into programming, the developer can enhance the efficiency of the development process and ultimately produce a high-quality game in lesser time. For example, let's look at how a function is used to calculate the distance between 2 points in 2D space. This function can calculate the distance between 2 points in 2D space, which might be used in various parts of a game such as collision detection, pathfinding, or AI behavior. Methods, also known as member functions. Methods are an essential component of object-oriented programming, also known as OOP, and are especially designed to be associated with a particular object or class. By incorporating methods into the game development process, the developer can streamline the workflow and ensure that each game object behaves exactly in a desired manner. For example, move and attack methods are defined within the player class and can be called on instances of player class to perform specific actions such as moving the player character or attacking an opponent. By using functions and methods in game development, one can elevate the game to the next level. Not only do they promote code reusability, modularity, and maintainability, but they also write clean, organized, and efficient code. With encapsulated functionality, debugging, testing, and updating gameplay logic becomes efficient. Now let's take a look at the recap on functions and methods. Functions and methods are both used in game development to perform specific tasks or set of tasks. Functions are standalone blocks of code that encapsulate common operations used in multiple places in the game. Methods, also known as member functions, are associated with a specific object or class and are used to define the behavior and functionality of game objects in object-oriented programming. With arrays, the developer can create fixed size collection of elements, all of the same type. But if the developer wants dynamic size collections that can hold elements of different types, collections are their best bet. Let's take a closer look at arrays and collections in C#. Arrays are an incredible tool that allows the developer to store similar data types in a single variable, making it easier to access and manipulate. With an array, they can save memory and optimize your program's performance, as they will be able to work with multiple elements at once. Here's an example of declaring and initializing an array in C#. Collections provide the developer with dynamic size collections that are part of the highly useful system.collections namespace. With collections, they will have access to a wide range of data structures including lists, dictionaries, queues, stacks, and more. These are just a few examples of arrays and collections in C#. Depending on the needs of your game program, the developer may choose to use different types of arrays and collections for efficient storage and management of data. Let's have a look at how arrays and collections are used in game programming. By utilizing these crucial data structures in game programming, the developer can effectively store and manage game-related information, improving both the performance and overall experience of your players. Here are some examples of how arrays and collections can be used in game programming. An array of game objects is declared with a capacity of 100. The array is then populated with game objects using a loop. Game objects can be accessed and manipulated using index-based access, which is a fast and efficient way to store and retrieve game objects. A list of game objects is used to manage game objects. Game objects can be added to the list using add method, and they can be accessed and manipulated using index-based access, similar to arrays. The list also provides additional methods for managing the collection, such as removing items by index or by value, sorting and searching. Dictionary can be used to store player scores. The dictionary is initialized with a key-value pair where the keys represent player names and their values represent their scores. Player scores can be accessed and manipulated using the keys, allowing for efficient lookup and retrieval of player data. A queue can be used to manage game events. Game events are enqueued using the enqueue method, and they can be dequeued using the dequeue method. This allows for managing game events in a first in, first out order, which can be useful for managing game state changes, notifications, and other event-driven behaviors in game program. Let's have a look at the recap on arrays and collections. Arrays and collections are used to store and manage data structures in C#. Arrays are fixed size collections of elements of the same type, while collections are dynamic size collections that can store elements of different types. Arrays are fixed size collections that can hold elements of the same type. They're declared with a set size and can store elements in contiguous memory locations. Collections in C# are dynamic size collections that can hold elements of different types. They're found in the system.collections namespace and provide a variety of data structures such as lists, dictionaries, queues, and stacks. Arrays and collections are data structures commonly used in game programming to efficiently store and manage game-related data. A list of game objects is used to manage game objects, providing methods for adding, accessing, and manipulating them using index-based access similar to arrays. Additional methods are also available for managing the collection, such as removing items, sorting, and searching. A dictionary is used to store player scores, providing a key-value pair initialization where keys represent player names and values represent their scores. This allows for efficient lookup and retrieval of player data. A queue is used to manage game events, providing methods for enqueuing and dequeuing events in, first out order. This is useful for managing game state changes, notifications, and other event-driven behaviors in game program. Let's move on to discuss about object-oriented programming. This powerful programming paradigm focuses on organizing code into objects and manipulating them to achieve your desired results. With support for key object-oriented programming concepts like encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism, C# can help you take your programming skills to the next level. Here's an overview of OOP concepts in C#. A class is not just any ordinary blueprint. It's the ultimate template that forms the backbone of any program, while an object is what brings this template to life. Moreover, with properties, methods, events, and other members defining their behavior, classes in C# are the key to unlocking the full potential of your program. Here's an example of a class and an object in C#. This cutting edge process hides the nitty-gritty details of your class and only exposes vital information through properties, methods, and events. With encapsulation, you will achieve better code organization, modularity, and reusability. Here's an example of encapsulation in C#. By leveraging the power of inheritance, the developer can easily create a brand new class that inherits all the amazing features and methods of an existing class, also known as the base class. What's more, this derived class can then take things to the next level by expanding and overriding the functionalities of the base class. This smart approach promotes code reusability while also providing you the flexibility to model and represent complex relationships between objects with ease. Here's an example of inheritance in C#. Now let's overview on how OOP is used in game programming. These templates serve as an essential foundation for building objects with shared properties and behaviors. Consider this. Classes can store fields, properties, methods, and events, and can inherit properties from other classes. With such versatility, the developer can create more efficient, organized, and powerful code. Here's an example of a class in game programming. Objects are the building blocks of any program, and they let the game developer tap into the full potential of your code. With each object they create using the new keyword, they unlock a whole new world of fields, properties, and methods that can help them perform a wide variety of specific tasks and operations. Whether the game developer is looking to create a sophisticated application or just want to streamline your code, objects are the key to unlock your code's true potential. Here's an example of creating and using an object in game programming. By inheriting properties and methods from a base class, you can easily reuse code and simplify the maintenance process. Plus, you will have the flexibility to create highly specialized classes by building off the existing ones. Here's an example of a derived class in game programming. In this example, the player class inherits from a base class called character, which provides properties and methods for managing character attributes and behavior. The player class adds its properties and methods for managing player-specific behavior such as health and damage. By embracing OOP in C#, the developer will unlock a world of limitless possibilities for creating awe-inspiring game programs. Through the creation of tailored classes, the software will have unparalleled functionalities, making the task exceptionally great. Now let's have a look at the recap. Object-oriented programming, also known as OOP, organizes code into objects which are instances of classes. C# is an OOP language that supports OOP concepts such as encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. A class is a template that defines the structure and behavior of objects, while an object represents a specific entity or concept in the program. C# classes have properties, methods, events, and other members. Encapsulation hides the internal details of a class and exposes only necessary information. It helps in achieving better code organization, modularity, and reusability. Inheritance allows creating of a new class, then inherit the properties and methods of an existing class. It promotes code reuse and enables modeling relationships between objects.
Thank you, Shriyans. With this, we have come to an end of the 6th module. and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for your HP Learning Assessment so that you can be certified and start your career in game development.